In this video, we're going to be discussing karma or conditioning, why you actually keep attracting narcissists. You feel like you're cursed. It's this heavy, invisible weight on your shoulders, the sense that you're cosmically doomed to repeat the same painful story over and over again. You meet someone new, and the sparks are electric, intoxicating. You think, finally, someone who gets me. But then slowly, a pattern emerges. The compliments that felt like sunshine become tools of control. The connection that felt so deep becomes a constant, draining demand for your energy. And you end up on the same revolving door of a relationship that leaves you emotionally exhausted, questioning your insanity, and whispering yourself in the middle of the night, why does this keep happening to me? Am I broken? This is the Darling Aura, and I'm Clarissa. Please join me on this journey as we explore tantalizing topics from astrology to relationship advice to tarot. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and let's get into it. What if I told you this isn't karma? It isn't some punishment for a past life you can't remember, and it's definitely not a sign that you're fundamentally flawed or unworthy of love. What if this painful repeating cycle isn't your fate, but a program, a hidden pattern, a form of deep conditioning that started long before you ever had a choice? In this video, I'm going to show you how this programming works, and I'm going to give you the tools to finally overwrite it. We're going to dismantle this pattern piece by piece so you can stop attracting narcissists and finally start building a relationship that you actually deserve. Let's talk about this word for a second, karma. In the way that we often use it is that it's seen as this cosmic punishment or reward. The logic goes, if you keep attracting pain, you must have done something to deserve it. But when you're talking about relational trauma, the idea of karma isn't just unhelpful, it's disempowering. It suggests that you're passively accepting a destiny that has already been written for you. It reinforces the exact feelings of shame and helplessness that narcissists thrive on, keeping you stuck wondering, did you do something wrong? Instead of asking what was done to you and what can you do for yourself now? So for today, let's throw out the idea of karma and replace it with something much more accurate, a powerful word, conditioning. Conditioning, you see, isn't a mystical force, it's a psychological process. It's how our brain learns to connect certain situations with specific emotions and behaviors. Think of it this way, your early life experience installed an emotional operating system on your internal computer. That system includes a critical piece of software, your relationship blueprint. This blueprint defines what love feels like, what's normal in a relationship, and what feels familiar and like home. The problem is you didn't choose this blueprint, it was created for you, often in an environment that is far from perfect. If your childhood was marked by neglect, criticism, or unpredictable behavior from a caregiver, your relational blueprint was programmed with a faulty code. This code doesn't steer you towards safety and respect, it steers you towards what's familiar. And if chaos, unpredictability, and having to earn love is what feels familiar, then that's exactly where your internal compass will point you again and again. This is not your fault. You aren't attracting narcissists because you're broken. You're attracting them because you're conditioned to recognize their behavior as a form of love. The good news is, unlike karma, conditioning can be understood, it can be deconstructed, and with conscious effort, it can be reprogrammed. That's the work we're going to start today. We start with the root of the pattern and how the conditioning is built. To truly break the pattern, you have to understand how it was built in the first place. You have to go back to the original blueprint and see where the faulty wiring was laid. For most people stuck in the cycle of narcissistic relationships, that blueprint was drafted in childhood. The conditioning wasn't a single event, but a process built over years of foundational pillars. The first and most powerful architect of this condition is usually the primary caregiver, a parent, who is either an outright narcissist or subtly unemotionally available. A child's survival depends on attunement, validation, and safety. A child's sense of self is just a mirror reflecting how the caregiver sees them. Now imagine that child has a narcissistic parent. This parent doesn't see a separate person with their own needs. They see an extension of themselves, an object to fulfill their own emotional needs. The child's job becomes making the parent feel good, smart, or successful, If the parent is in a bad mood, the child feels it's their job to fix it. The child's own feelings, sadness, anger, the need for comfort are treated as an inconvenience or even a personal attack on the parent. This environment, which falls under the umbrella of adverse childhood experiences, forces the child to learn a set of damaging survival rules. My needs don't matter. Their needs are everything. To get any kind of love or avoid a punishment, I have to suppress my own desires and become an expert at catering to the person most powerful in my life. Love is conditioning and must be earned. I'm not loved for who I am. I'm loved for what I do, for my grades, for my compliance, for being quiet. My worth is transactional. Emotional chaos is normal. The roller coaster of a narcissistic parent, praise one minute, rage the next, becomes the baseline for what a relationship feels like. Stability and peace feels strange because drama feels like home. This child grows up to be an adult with a PhD in managing difficult people. They are hyper aware of the moods of others. They've learned to abandon themselves on a moment's notice to appease somebody else. So when they meet a narcissist in their adult life, their nervous system doesn't sound alarm. Instead, it whispers, this feels familiar. I know how to do this. This is love. The initial love bombing feels like the prize they've been trying to win their whole life. And the devaluation that follows feels like familiar disappointment they were conditioned to accept. They aren't choosing pain, they're following a script written by the architect of their attraction. The second pillar involves a beautiful human quality, empathy. Many people who track narcissists have deep empathy. You're the healers, the listeners, the shoulders that people always cry on. In a healthy context, this is a superpower. But in this dynamic, your empathy can be a liability. A narcissist is defined by a profound lack of empathy. They are empty walls, constant need to fill with narcissistic supply, adoration, attention, control. An empath, on the other hand, is a natural spring, overflowing with the very things narcissists crave. This creates a parasitic dynamic, often mistaken as some kind of empath narcissistic connection. It's not two halves or whole, it's a predator and an ideal prey. Here's how your empathy gets weaponized against you. Because you were trained in childhood to manage your caregiver's emotions, you see a person in pain. The narcissist's carefully crafted victim story, and your instinct is to heal them. You hear their story of being misunderstood, and you think, if only someone could love them enough, they could heal. You see the wounded person underneath it all, and you make it your mission to save them. The narcissist loves this. They praise you for understanding them like no one else. Feel special, chosen. What's really happening is that your empathy is being used to manipulate you. You're so focused on their feelings that you ignore your own. When they lash out, your empathy makes you think they must be in so much pain to act like this. You make excuses for their cruelty. Your empathy creates an echo chamber. The narcissist projects their flaws onto you, calling you selfish when they are the selfish one. And your nature of empathy makes you pause and actually consider it. Maybe I'm being selfish. You turn that blame inward because the alternative, that person you love is intentionally hurting you, is too much for your compassionate mind to accept. This isn't a flaw in your character, it's a feature of your beautiful nature being exploited. The third and most insidious pillar is the karma bond, which is often mistaken as passionate love. A trauma bond isn't about affection, it's about the addiction to a cycle of abuse, driven by a powerful biochemistry. This cycle is known as intermittent reinforcement. It's the same principle that makes slot machines so addictive. The machine doesn't pay out every time, or even in a predictable schedule. It gives you just enough reward at random times to keep you pulling that lever, convinced the big jackpot is coming. A relationship with a narcissist works exactly the same way. The jackpot is the idealization phase, the love bombing, the intense affection. This creates a euphoric high. Then comes the devaluation, the criticism, the silence, the rage. This creates a devastating low. You become desperate to get back to the high. When the narcissist finally gives you a crumb of affection after a period of cruelty, the release is so intense that the brain registers it as pure pleasure. This emotional roller coaster is incredibly damaging. But for someone conditioned in a chaotic home, it feels like passion. A stable, calm, respectful relationship can feel boring or like it's lacking chemistry in comparison. Your nervous system has been wired to equate drama with connection and anxiety with love. You mistake the gut-wrenching turmoil of the trauma bond for the butterflies of romance. You think this must be a soul connection. No one has ever made me feel these things so intensely. This is all made worse by a low self-esteem. If your sense of worth is already shaky, you become dependent on the narcissist's approval. The high of their praise validates your very existence. The low of their disapproval confirms your deepest fears, that you are not good enough. This creates a powerful addictive loop. You're not addicted to the person, you're addicted to the hope of finally securing their approval and proving your own worth. It's a chase that can last a lifetime if you don't bring this conditioning to light. 3 signs this hidden conditioning is ruining your life. Understanding how the conditioning was built is the first step. The next is recognizing it in your daily life. This isn't about judging yourself, it's about diagnosis. These are the emotional lights on your emotional dashboard, telling you the old programming is still running. By learning to spot these signs, you go from a passive participant to an active observer. And that's where you get your power back. Sign 1, you are a chronic overgiver and people pleaser. The most telling sign is that your default setting is to give more than you get. This isn't just about being a nice person. This is a compulsive, often anxiety-driven need to please others, usually at your own expense. Be honest with yourself. Do you feel responsible for the emotional state of everyone around you? If a friend is sad, do you feel an urgent need to fix it? If your partner is angry, is your first thought, what did I do? This is the classic sign of someone trained to be an emotional caretaker as a child. This overgiving shows up in a few ways. You might be the first person who always says yes when you're totally exhausted. The thought of saying no fills you with guilt or dread. You might apologize for things that are clearly not your fault just to keep the peace. You find yourself in conversations where you do all the listening and supporting, only to realize they know nothing about you. To a narcissist, this is a giant flashing sign, and their radar is perfectly tuned to finding givers. They don't see a kind person, they see an endless supply. They see someone who will put their needs first and work tirelessly to keep them happy. Your people pleasing isn't a personality quirk, it's the welcome mat you unknowingly roll out for them. It signals that your boundaries are weak and your needs come second. Sign 2 is that you constantly ignore your intuition and early red flags. Your intuition is the most primal form of intelligence. It's the gut feeling that whispers, the sense of offness you get around certain people. It's your body's built-in threat detector. But for people conditioned to accept toxic behavior, their system gets overawed by a logical mindset. Think back to the beginning of your last painful relationship. Were there red flags you could explain away? Maybe they made a joke at your expense and you told yourself, oh, they're just sarcastic. Maybe they were charming to you, but rude to the waiter. And you thought, maybe they're just having a bad day. Maybe they pushed a boundary too quickly and you brushed it off because you didn't want to make a big deal out of it. Your intuition probably fired. You felt that little knot in your stomach. The problem is, your conditioning taught you to distrust that feeling. A childhood spent navigating an unpredictable parent teaches you to rationalize their behavior to survive. You had to make excuses for them to feel safe. As an adult, this makes you an expert defense attorney for other people and their bad behaviors. Your rational mind, desperate for a relationship that works, comes up with 1,000 reasons why the red flag isn't really a red flag. It's a misunderstanding. It's their difficult past. It's just stress. What's more, the behavior that screams a red flag to a healthy person might not even set off alarms for you because it feels so familiar. The subtle put down, the possessiveness disguised as caring, this is your normal. You ignore that quiet, wide voice inside you because a louder voice, the voice of your condition, is telling you that this is what love feels like. Sign 3 is that your self-worth is an external yo-yo. The third critical sign is that your self-worth isn't a stable internal anchor. Instead, it's a yo-yo that rises and falls based on your partner's approval. When you're with a narcissist, your moods become a direct reflection of how they are treating you that day. They shower you with praise. You feel incredible, on top of the world. When the devaluation inevitably comes, the criticism, the silent treatment, your self-worth plummets. You feel worthless, anxious, and desperate to get back in their good graces. This is the very definition of walking on eggshells. Your life stops being your own and becomes a constant performance designed to manage their moods. You lose touch with your own sense of value. You no longer know what's good or smart or worthy unless they tell you so. This is a direct result of a childhood where approval was conditioning. You learned that your self-worth was something granted by others and not something you just had. A narcissist hones in on this. They know you're looking for someone to tell you that you're okay. At first, they are happy to do it because it makes you dependent on them, but they will always pull that validation away because keeping you insecure is how they maintain control. If your happiness and confidence are tied to another person's whims, it's a glaring sign that your conditioning has made you a perfect target. How to break the pattern and recalibrate. Knowing the signs is empowering, but knowledge alone isn't enough. How do you actually break this pattern? This is where we move from diagnosis to action. This is how to start to override the old programming and install a new operating system based on self-worth and safety. This isn't about learning how to fix a narcissist. That is a draining dead-end street. It's about healing yourself so profoundly that you just don't resonate with their frequency anymore. Step 1. Radical acceptance and merciful awareness. The first step is to practice radical acceptance. This doesn't mean accepting abusive behavior. It means radically, completely accepting the reality of your pattern without shame or self-blame. You have to look at your history and say to yourself, yes, this pattern exists, this has happened, and say it without adding because I'm stupid or because I'm unlovable. You just observe the facts. Then you couple this with what I call merciful awareness. You finally internalize the message. It's not your fault, but it is now your responsibility to heal. Let that sink in. The conditioning wasn't installed without your consent. You were a child doing your best to survive. Blaming yourself for survival strategies is like blaming someone shivering in the cold. It's an automatic response. Practically, this means becoming a compassionate detective of your own life. Start a journal. When you feel the urge to say yes, when you want to say no, write it down. Notice when you are making an excuse for someone else's bad behavior. Don't judge it, just notice. This simple practice creates a little space between you and that pattern. In that space, you find your freedom. You start to realize you are not the pattern. You are the one observing it. Step 2, re-sensitise and learn the language of healthy. Your nervous system has likely been desensitized to toxic behavior. At the same time, healthy, stable behavior just can feel boring. The next step is to actively resensitize your system to what's unhealthy while learning the foreign language of what is genuinely healthy. To resensitize yourself to the ick is crucial. The ick is that subtle gut feeling of discomfort when someone says something slightly off or when their charm feels a little too slick. Your new job is to honor that feeling. Instead of ignoring it, get curious. Pause and ask yourself, what about that felt wrong? Treat the ick like a sacred messenger from your intuition. At the same time, immerse yourself in what healthy looks like and feels like. This is an active learning process. Spend time with genuinely kind, respectful, emotionally stable people. Watch how they handle conflict or express their needs. You're giving your brain new healthy data. And you can do this through media, watch films, read books that portray secure relationships. Notice how it feels when your body is witnessing consistency and kindness. It might feel boring at first, and that's okay. That boredom is a sign that your nervous system is calming down from the addictive chaos. You're teaching your body that peace isn't boring, it's safety. Step 3 is the art of boundaries. The final and most practical step is to learn and practice the art of setting boundaries. For a people pleaser, setting boundaries can feel terrifying, like you're being mean or selfish, but you're not. A boundary isn't a wall to keep everyone out. It's a fence around your property with a gate that you can control. It protects your energy, your time, your well-being. Boundaries are the ultimate act of self-respect. Start small. You don't have to confront the most difficult person in your life straight away. There are 2 simple techniques. The pause boundary. When someone asks you for something and you feel that anxiety to say yes, immediately just pause. Use a simple phrase like, let me check my calendar, then I'll get back to you. Or I need to think about it, I'll let you know. This simple act is revolutionary and gives you space to check in with yourself. Do I actually want to do this? The pause reclaims your power of choice. The if then boundary. This is for dealing with disrespectful behavior. It's not a threat, it's a statement of your reality. For example, if you continue to raise your voice, then I'm going to end this conversation for now. Or if you make critical comments about my appearance, then I won't be able to spend time with you. The most important part is the follow through. If they raise their voice, you must calmly say, like I said, I'm ending this conversation now, and then walk away or hang up. This teaches them, and more importantly, teaches yourself that you will protect yourself. Each time you set a small boundary, you send a powerful message to your subconscious. I am worthy of protection. My needs are valid. This is a tough practice, and it's often best to get support from a therapist or a coach who can guide you as you build this new skill. This journey of reprogramming your condition is deep work, and if you've stayed with me for this long, I want to acknowledge you. It takes real courage to look at some painful patterns, and even more courage to decide to change them. The most important thing you can take away from this is that you're not cursed. You're not destined to repeat the same cycle forever. You are conditioned, and what you have learned can be unlearned. The old program that had been running your relational life does not have to be your future. This is the Darling Aura. I'm Clarissa. Thank you so much for being here.